What's up, guys? My name is Charlie. Welcome to my channel. No, this video. I'm sorry that my voice is a little low. Apologize for that. Kind of having a cough still. But it's gonna be my reaction video to this Air Force basic training. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully enjoy it. I'm gonna react how I'm gonna react. Let's see how it goes. All right. Hope you enjoy it.
Move forward, move forward.
Move on.
This
Stop talking when I'm talking.
is Air Force Boot Camp. Before they
Right, looks
join
good
the
so
United
far.
States Air Force or Space Force, all trainees
Space
must
Force.
graduate from the Air Force's 7.5
would
week
re-enlist
basic
Space
military
Force for
training
real.
program, known as
It sounds
BMT.
amazing.
Our mission is to motivate, train, and
combat
inspire
Air
the next
Force
generation of
infantrymen.
airmen to deliver 21st century air power.
Training happens here at Lackland Air Force Base, located just 10 miles outside of downtown San Antonio, Texas. On a sweltering week in August, insiders spent 4 days observing different squadrons at various stages of training.
Whenever I said I was going Air Force, everybody's like, oh, the Chair Force, like, basic's gonna be nothing. And I was sitting there thinking, man, I should have went another route. This is gonna be way too easy.
You're wearing your failure all over your face.
And I could not have been more wrong.
Is it
On
though?
day one, new trainees arrive on a bus from the San Antonio airport.
Some of these kids come here never having left home, no job experience.
Like, this is just me personally, right? I went to the military when I was 21. I've already worked some sort of job. I was actually a housekeeper. I cleaned shit all the time. When I went and joined, first thing that I thought, should I go to Air Force? Should I go Navy? Should I go Marines? All three of them were closed. The Army recruiting station was the only one open. So if I had to go back and change, I would have went Marines, to be honest. And I would because like Marines are the hardcore boys of the military, to be honest with you. As hard it is to the Army guys and the infantry, Marines are awesome. I have full respect to those guys, and I have full respect with any branch of the military, maybe except the Coast Guard. Those motherfuckers, I don't think those motherfuckers do anything, to be honest with you. And I've never even met a Coast Guard before. A lot of my friends are Marines, Navy, I'm in the Air Force. Two of my best friends are in the Marine. One was in the Air Force, and we click a lot, It's just that for me, because I was in the military, and I was in the Army. Army is that's my pride and joy. I will brag and talk shit to anyone, anywhere, that my branch is better than you. Sorry, it's just how it is. Yeah. Owen? Sorry about that. My brother is going to work for the Navy over in San Diego. So. San Diego? Somewhere in fucking California. It's the Navy. He's a contractor there, so he's going to be there for about a month or so. He just said goodbye. But like I was saying, I mean, I can talk about the military any time of the day, especially when it comes to the military, the Army. Too easy, man. Too easy. I will debate anybody comment. I don't care that my army branch is better than yours, especially the infantry.
But not long after they leave here, they're going to be given a job and a task and expected to perform that task with no supervision.
There, hug your bags, nothing falls out. That's all this comes.
About
These motherfuckers get
35,000
bags.
trainees graduate from BMT each year.
The average age of a basic trainee here at BMT is 20.6 years old. What that means is they don't remember a time when our nation wasn't at war, but they raised their hand anyway, and they said they want to serve.
All trainees are sorted into smaller groups known as flight.
See, that right there is the reason why I love military community, because you didn't have to go to the military. You didn't have to raise your hand and say yes. You could have just went into college or some fucking odd job out in the civilian world and did your thing. But you didn't. You made a choice, a lifelong choice, sometimes, some people, to serve. And I hardly fully heartedly give my respect to these young men and women that serve, protect the country, because 99% of of the United States don't do it, and some are not even citizens of this America. So just goes to show you.
Flights. Although training squadrons are composed of both male and female trainees, the flights are divided by gender. During 0 week, male trainees receive haircuts. Female trainees must wear their hair in a bun, a ponytail, or up to 2 braids.
Right away, the Air
Now, I
Force
don't
wants
know
to get a
what
little
the
muscle
AR
on those
is for
pretty arms.
Females were first
The-
allowed
for
to
the Air
join the Air
Force,
Force in limited roles in
670-1
1948,
is the uniform.
and in 1976
It's the
began being
AR for
accepted on
Army
an equal
regulations
basis with
for
males.
The Army.
Today,
don't know about
20% of the Air
The
Force's
Air Force,
active
if you're an
duty
Air Force
service
guy,
members are
comment
female,
below.
along with about 25% of
I
all
know what it is.
trainees at BMT.
I mean, I can research it and Google it real quick, but
Trainees learn how to line up and march
time for
in
that.
formation from their military training instructor, or MTI, which for some can be easier said
oh
than
man,
done.
he fucked up.
There you go. Leave it all on the track.
Fucked up on that
Mornings at BMT begin at 0600 with
one. He
physical
fucked up on
training.
that one.
5 seconds.
Come on, man, keep going.
All right, you're done.
All trainees must pass a physical fitness test during the 5th week of their training, which consists of 1 minute each of
I really
push-ups
apologize, guys. I'm
and
kind of sick,
sit-ups,
but I'm not
as
sick.
well
you
as
know
a
what I'm saying? I
timed
just have a
1.5
cough.
mile run.
My voice is gone.
Good job. Keep
I
going,
apologize.
gentlemen.
They kind of flip a switch during PT from MTI to personal trainer.
Good job. Good run.
Like they come in and they really encourage you. If you're struggling, they'll tell you like, hurry up, let's get this done, and they'll do it with you.
There you go. Burn through this last lap. There you go.
After morning PT, it's time for breakfast, known as chow. But meals aren't a time for relaxation.
Sir, Flight 727, Dormitory Alpha 1 is prepared to enter the dining facility from the west side.
It's the responsibility of the chow runner to announce their flight's arrival to the dining facility.
Storm Bravo 6 is prepared to enter the dive facility from the east side. Bring him in and see him.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Because when I was in the basic training, we didn't have to just line the fuck up. Pretty sure we just lined the fuck up, but we always had a PG. And the PG usually is the first one to go on the chow. The last one to eat too.
Bring him in and seat them. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You gotta do the right amount of steps, the right drill movements. You gotta say the right words, or you're gonna get screamed at.
What are you doing? What is happening right here?
Chow runners who don't follow procedures correctly may face the wrath of the snake pit, the area
Oh, they
where
have
MTI
they have a thing called
sit
the
during
snake
meals.
pit.
You look, stepped out in traffic, and almost got ran over. Because it was not your turn. There's no explanation for it. Back up.
Really, it's an important job because you represent your flight. They put people in there who got confidence issues, to build their confidence.
So you're forgetting to do so is what got you. Stop talking when I'm talking!
You got to really be stable to be able to remember everything and then be in that fire and, perform well. After doing it a few times, it get easier.
Attention to detail is a critical aspect of BMT, and it starts in the dormitory. Trainees are expected to keep their living areas and uniforms in pristine condition, and both are inspected regularly by their MTIs.
Okay, so in any basic training you go to, there's always some sort of disciplinary action, and you have to do your beds, your uniforms. Any type of environment you're in the military, you always have to have some sort of organizational skills that you're using. And it's a big part because they teach you stuff that you don't usually learn in the real world outside. They don't teach you stuff like oh, maybe I should take the lint off my uniform real quick and make it look better. Burn the edges off. It's like that. You learn a lot. You learn a lot in basic training. And as a man, as a male, and as a female, you learn a lot of responsibilities when it comes to fixing your uniform, conducting yourselves in the most disciplined way. Because if you fuck up and they see it, and they will see it. They can use that as a tool to use in order to make you feel better. Not feel better. Humiliate you to a point, but not to a point where it degrades you. But it all comes down to discipline. It's a huge deal in the military. In any part or in any department you're in, organizational skills, your attention to detail, how you fold your clothes, how you fix your shoes, how you trim your hair, whatever this may be. Every day, every single day, you have to have some sort of discipline because you represent the United States military. People look up to you. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it comes to uniform. I see some of these guys sometimes in the National Guard or the Reserve, especially when I was in NTC. I got volunteered to go there, voluntold to go there to be a observer for one of the units. And some of the units that they had was like shit, straight shit. You gotta have some sort of discipline. Because if you don't have that, it's really hard for your career to move on. Be stuck in like your E4 position. Some of the soldiers that I had a soldier that I had that was my team leader, and then when I got promoted to corporal or sergeant, I became his team leader. It's all comes down to discipline. If you represent yourself into a higher level, and my brothers and sisters from my unit, from my friends here that's gonna be seeing this video maybe can ascertain that it will be, well, it changes a lot because it gives you the opportunity to be better than everybody else. It's hard to do. Not everyone can do it. But if you persevere, you can do it. You can totally do it. You can totally do it. I'm all over the place right now. I'm sorry, I apologize, but like it's hard to explain sometimes, but it's a simple task to do. It's just that no one does it all the time. This is where it starts. If you're going to the basic training of any sort of military branch, throw out your pride. throughout any sort of being that you have when it comes to your own personal space, because they're gonna be in your face all, even when you get to your unit, they're gonna be in your face, and they're gonna want you to do things that you're not comfortable to do with, whether you like it or not. It's the way it is. It is the way it is.
There's a plethora of things that they have to make sure are perfect down to the T. And if they aren't, we're going to let them know that this does not meet the standard. They're going to be expected to correct it.
Standards.
During 0 week, each trainee is
Standards
assigned
is
a
key.
rifle, which they learn to care for.
My heels are pretty much trying to touch the ground, and I'm facing downrange.
35% of BMT is classroom instruction.
Right now, what you're gonna do is go to the high kneeling position.
Trainees learn the basics of how to hold their rifles in a variety of different shooting positions.
Because we're an expeditionary force, an airman can find themselves in any location around the world really at a moment's notice. So we have to maintain our qualifications and our service weapon.
Nowhere is attention to detail more apparent than in drill practice.
Hit your just.
Real practice is important. I learned this when I went to the NCO training
of
in
precision
Oregon.
And discipline incorporated
It is
into
incorporated
certain
in every
movements
single
in a
thing you
formation.
do there, which is
I will say during the first couple weeks of training, they are drinking from
it's
a
a
fire
huge deal.
hose. The drill is much more difficult for them because they are having an overload of information being given to them.
exactly.
Left foot, left, right, left.
Typically after the second or third week of training is when it all starts to make a little bit of sense, and around that time is when it looks a lot better.
Yeah. So what they're doing right now is marching formations, basic command drills, things like that. When you get to your unit, they'll do this stuff in the morning. Salute the flag, blah, 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 all this other stuff. But the bigger picture is when you do your runs, when you do your runs in the morning, you had to, like, when I was in, you would always have the NCOs and PSGs and LTs do the runs, but they'll have to do it in cadence. You learn this in basic training, but you forget it once you get to your unit, because sometimes the unit doesn't do that a lot of times. And then when you do the 5 mile runs, the eagle runs and stuff like that, it's like, let's do some cadences, This is where it all comes down to. And hopefully these new guys that are coming in has a better understanding of what they need to do in order to achieve these kind of things.
Training culminates in week 6 with an event known as BEAST, which stands for Basic Expeditionary Airman Skills Training.
BEAST puts them through all the things that they have learned in 5.5,
That's
6
new.
weeks,
I've
and
never
we
heard that
rehearsed it, if
before.
you will.
During BEAST Week, trainees live in a simulated combat environment.
That's
and
awesome.
are tested
Oh,
on
yeah.
various field training exercises and scenarios.
I want their backs to hurt, and I want their feet to hurt after that 5 days of training out in the field, because they need to ingrain to them right
Richard,
now
that's
the
a sergeant
character,
major.
what's it take
That's
to
a
be an
sergeant
agile
major talking
airman
right now.
and an agile guardian in the United States Air Force.
During combat
That's a
arms
sergeant major
training
right there.
and maintenance, trainees learn how to handle and fire an M4 carbine.
Forward. Slow.
Trainees first learn how to safely load and fire their weapons in the classroom
Snap your bolt forward.
before heading out to the firing range.
The line
You know,
is ready.
in the infantry army, we don't
fire
do
their
that.
weapons from
We don't
several
slap it
different
with
positions.
our mags.
Trainees fire a total of 76 rounds and must hit their target on at least 12 of them. Trainees who score 22 or higher qualify as expert.
The reload is out with the old. In with the new. Stop the ping pong.
I believe in the army is 36.
If they lose
36 is
fundamentals, they
expert.
get frustrated. they get frustrated, they tend not to qualify.
You guys ready? Yes, sir. All right, let's do it again. Let's go.
But if you keep them motivated, that part will ensure that they either qualify or get that expert.
There's a sense of accomplishment that when an airman leaves here that they're confident in holding and operating a weapon. Some people come here, they've never touched any weapon of any kind in their life, so that confidence is important to us.
Trainees don gas masks during CBRN training, where they learn how to protect themselves during a chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear
CBRN is
attack.
good.
Let's go, let's go.
CBRN is a skill you need to have.
Trainees run through a simulated attack
Probably
and
one of the most
conduct
important
post-attack
skills you should
reconnaissance
have
of their
as
surrounding
a
area,
unit.
where they check for damage, as well as any unexploded
Because
explosive
chemical weapons in the
ordnance.
military is huge.
Due to COVID-19 protocols, trainees are not exposed to any dangerous chemicals during BMT, but training that does include exposure is scheduled to return in early 2022.
2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, 24 inches.
I believe it's 97 degrees right now, and the gear that they're wearing adds about 15 degrees of body heat. So it's challenging both physically and mentally.
I know it's hot, I know it's miserable out here, but you need to make sure you're paying attention.
I think it's a unique experience. I remember the first time I put on a gas mask and how cool I thought it was. But there's no doubt that after wearing that gear for a few hours, especially in the Texas heat, they probably get tired of it pretty quickly. I like to joke with some of my students and tell them, hey,
wants
the
to
best part
fucking
of
put on a
CBRN is returning
CBRN
the gear at the end of the day.
ever.
LDP1.
Ever, man.
Figuring out
Unless
how to
you absolutely
coordinate with
had
your
to.
team, that would be the most difficult part, especially in
But,
like
like,
all that
nobody
really
wants to
clunky
fucking do
gear.
it.
It's hard to move around, but it was still fun.
Trainees are also trained in Tactical Casualty Combat Care, or TCCC, which teaches them how to perform
I
potentially
believe that's a
life-saving
new
first aid
name
in
for
combat.
Once I go through once, I'm going to go back to the
for
opposite
the
direction.
first
That's
aid
what's going to create that
training
direct
that they
pressure.
do in the
The
military.
trainees
TCCC.
learn how to properly apply tourniquets, as well as how to evacuate a wounded airman to safety. Skills they'll need to know when it comes to the culminating event of Beast Week, simply known as the Village. The trainee's mission is to infiltrate the village and rescue an injured airman located somewhere inside.
See, this is the infantry tactics. And I don't
the
think the
sounds
Air
of
Force
gunfire
really have a
explosives,
cognitive
along with the presence
understanding
of role players
of what
acting as opposing forces and innocent bystanders, make for a stressful
operation
environment.
tactics when it comes to SOPs and
We all
calling
kind of
in
rushed in and then
formations
didn't really know what to
along
do. We were
with
all just kind of like looking around like, what?
along with the things that they need to do, understand as a platoon or a unit or a squad. I don't know how the Air Force prioritizes offensive operations like this, because these are infantry tactics. If you're going to urban environment, right, you need to have some sort of procedural operation in how you conduct this. And they didn't go over the op order, which is the operations order, and how logistics and all that other stuff comes to it, and what the warrant was, what their objective was, and things like that. They skipped that whole thing, and that's fine. But what they're trying to do is mimic infantry operations at this point right here.
What the heck is going on?
We had a plan, and then it completely fell apart. Like, as soon as we walked through, pretty much, it fell apart.
bet.
We
They're all
are
dead.
responsible for throwing the different scenarios at them, having them feel the pressure while they're out here at the village. That way they can actually use their minds and think about what it is that we've taught them and trained them on in a scenario where they're actually under pressure.
Put your hands above your head. Put your fingers. Put your feet.
Trainees are taught how to defuse situations with opposing forces
Sir.
and are instructed to use minimal force on those who are non-compliant.
What do you do when they don't comply?
But the stressful environment can cause some trainees to freeze
Can I see?
Oh my god.
or overreact.
He gave away her gun, man.
Put your hands up.
Okay. this is where I get. This is where I'm gonna get like really pissed off because I'm an infantryman. You never surrender your weapon. Ever. You never let go of your gun. Ever. 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 Okay. You never surrender your guns. You can retreat. Offensively retreat. That's what we but you never do that, man. If I was the NCO of these guys, or I was the leader of these guys, I would have chewed them out right then and there and reconducted the operation. Because right there, you lost a gun. That's one too many already. It's one too many. Can't do that.
Some of the things that I see most of the time, which is very detrimental to our force, is trainees utilizing deadly force when they're not supposed to be.
Why did you shoot me?
You have a grenade in your hand and a weapon in your hand, sir.
But how did you know it was a grenade? You're that far away, you don't know. If I'm not pointing my weapon at you, why would you shoot me?
Obviously, we all know that's against code. It sets us back in a mission that we're trying to accomplish overseas.
Bang. Hey, sir. Common mistakes, not forming that 360-degree perimeter. I see that all the time. Hey, wingman. Bang.
What are you doing right now?
Slow, man. That's slow. Perimeter. That's weak.
I want them to make mistakes. I want to correct those mistakes and tell them this is why it was a
fucking
mistake and move forward from it.
Y'all are all trained at T-Triple-C, right? Somebody said this down there and then.
I think the Air Force needs to integrate with infantry and operation soldiers, like Marines. Excuse me. They need to integrate offensive operations and SOPs when it comes to this types of operations with infantry soldiers, basic units, and I would highly suggest Marines and infantry units, because so they can actually learn how these operations actually work, and then they can teach him how to properly conduct operations of this scale correctively. Because if you don't have the knowledge to conduct these operations, you're just dangling in the air. And I give props to instructors, but they're not infantry soldiers. These guys are not offensive soldiers. There's not infantrymen. There's no squad operating procedures that they do. There's no battle drills that they conduct. And it sucks. If you're going to conduct these type of operations, you got to teach them right.
Trainees reach the injured airmen, they must quickly and safely apply T-Triple-C.
Wake up! Calm down and think!
Before evacuating them to safety.
You guys ready? We're going this way. Let's go.
Hey, this is why we train out here. This is why we harp on all of those things that we teach you when you're doing fast and T-Triple-C, because all of this stuff comes into play whether you're here or downrange, and you have to apply real world.
I give them props though for trying, but it's a wash, man. I would have watched these guys immediately.
Mistakes. That way they can make them here,
You
where
can't
it's
do
a
that
safe
like that.
environment, and actually leave the village with a different understanding of where they need to work on themselves. Good job.
Having survived Beast Week, the trainees return to base with the toughest week of BMT behind them.
They see it often as a rite of passage. They've been out there, they've achieved that difficult thing. So by the time they come back from Beast, there's a new sense of accomplishment.
Friends and family gather to see their new airmen and guardians graduate.
It's remarkable to watch how in just 7 weeks, which is not very long, it can make such a difference in someone's life. They walk a different way. They talk a different way. The amount of confidence they exude and the pride that they obviously have after having gone through this is so clear and it's so evident.
After graduating from basic military training, airmen and guardians head to technical school to start the next chapter in their journey in the U.S. Air Force and Space Force.
Those who joke about us being the chair force, I would tell you, well, it's easier to sit on a chair than it is to sit on a rock. We must outthink our enemies every single day.
That is
how
true.
We fight.
That is.
But what I would tell those who joke is to stand the posts because we have a nation to defend.
I give him that. I mean, it is easier to sit on a chair than on a rock. But I'd rather sit on a rock than on a chair in a combat operation. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think, again, I give respect to anyone in the military. I really appreciate you guys, what you guys do. All right. So keep your heads up and hopefully you become successful in your career. It is. Deuces.